This is a full SolidWorks design tutorial for ends for this little spool of string. This is masonry line, and every time I pull it out of my bag, it's all knotted up and stuff. So I'm gonna make some ends for this to contain it and make it easier to store. So let's jump into it and design it. We're gonna design this in inches. Drink your coffee first. All right. Start on the top plane. Do a circle. So right click and drag to the right. Right click, drag upwards. And now we're going to make this 2.25. Going to extrude it. We're going to make this a 1/16 of an inch. And hit OK. Alright. Let's make our little protrusion here. So the inner diameter of the spool is 1 inch. So we're going to make this 0.96. Give it a little bit of clearance. That way it'll slide in nicely. And then we'll put some fingers on it to hold tension. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we will, let's offset that. I'm going to go inward. Let's make that a 1/16 of an inch also. All right, features, extrude. Let's make that 5/8 of an inch. There we go. Okay, now I want to put a rim around here that will be the actual interference point to the inside of the tube. So I'm just going to do that by just selecting the top face here, sketch. Then we're going to select this outside rim here, do a convert, outside rim again, and do a offset. Let's make that 1/32. No, I got 0.04. So 40 thousandths of an inch sticking out there. And that actually makes the outside, if you want to know dimensions of things, you can actually redimension them. Even though this is fully defined, it's black, I can put a dimension on this and it'll yell at me and say make this dimension driven, and we'll say yes because it's going to drive it. And now you can see we have 1.04, so it's just a little bit of interference there. So we're going to leave that like that. And now let's extrude it downward. So flip it over and we'll make it, let's go with an 1/8 inch. So 0.125. There we go. And now we can put some chamfers on it just to make it lead in and lead out easy. And make that 0.4 also, or 0.04 also. There we go. That's good. Now we want to give it a chamfer down here to give it a little more rigidity, so this doesn't pop off here at the layer line. Give it more adhesion there when it prints. So let's go ahead and add another chamfer. There we go. Make it an 1/8 inch also, 0.125. That look pretty good? I think so. All right. And now we want to split this so it can actually be bent inward a little bit when it goes into the tube. That way it just creates a friction, nice friction fit. So let's go to the top. Whoops, top of the part. Sketch. I'm just going to take that and convert them. Now we're going to draw some vertical lines here. Escape out of that. Right click, drag to the left, and you get a line. There we go. Now let's trim it up. Now we just have this little shape here. It's kind of hard to tell. I could probably turn shadows off. There we go. Now you can see it. We want to make this symmetrical, so let's go ahead and give it a width first. And we'll make this an 1/8 inch. And get it back over here toward the center. Okay, didn't like that. There we go. I dropped it on top of another line is why. Now let's go ahead and give it a line to be symmetrical about. So we'll put a center line in here, and we'll just select that, that, and wait here, and then there's a symmetric. There we go, fully defined. So let's go ahead and go to Features, Extrude Cut, and we'll go all the way down to up to Surface, that, hit Enter. There we go. Now we have a nice split in there. Now let's make a few more of them. So we will go circular pattern, select this for the rotation, and nope, it didn't like that. Let's delete that. Select that for the rotation, and then this for the feature. And I don't think we want 24 of them. I think we just want 4. That looks good. Hit OK. There we go. One more thing I want to do. Probably should have done that before I put this cut in there. So we're going to go back in time. This is the time traveler here. Take this rollback bar and we'll roll it back to the point where that hadn't happened yet. I'm going to select here and do a sketch right there. And while that surface is still selected, I'm just going to hit Convert. That gives me a circle there based on that edge. And now I will Extrude Cut. And we will go through all. And make sure it's going the right direction. It is. And now we have a hole going through. So if we want to put a rod through there or a wire through there or something like that, we can. No really reason to have that closed up. All right, let's time travel again. And now we have a nice little part with some tensioners that should slide into the end of that tube really well. All right, so now I want to put some little notches in here to hook the string into so it doesn't come unwound. Keep me from putting tape on it like I do now. So let's go ahead and select that surface, edit sketch, and I know the diameter of the string is 0.025, right around there. So I want to make it smaller than that. I'm going to make it bigger than that and then get smaller than that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start with a center line. So we'll go center line. And all that is a line that's already selected for construction for you. So you can just put a line in and tick that box, be the same. All right, so I want to start with a line that comes off here at somewhat of an angle. I don't know why it did that. There we go. And then another line that goes at a little bit more of an angle. Yeah. Actually, I just want to make that straight. Okay. So, and then we'll make the end of it straight for now. And we'll figure that out. Let's go ahead and select all that and go mirror entities. Now we have symmetrical. We'll select that, convert, and then trim that up. Okay, so now we have just this little keyhole thing. It's way bigger than what I want. So let's first start by defining this, because I know what that's going to be. See, it's 10 times the size almost. 0.0222. Whoa, see? Something like that. .025. Okay, and now let's dimension the height of that. 0.06 is fine. I'll make these a little bit of a lead in here, so let's select the vertex and that leg. And we'll make this 45. 60. Like that better. That's pretty good. I want to round this off though, so let's go ahead and do that. And I will put a tangent arc in here. And automatically make it tangent to those two lines. And delete this. There we go. And now I want to dimension from the center of this to the outside of this. And it can be hard because it wants to go to the center of that. You can see. So to get around that, you select that and then shift select this. Now you can see dimension what I wanted to dimension. And we're going to make that 0.1. And it's not much, is it? Let's go 0.125. There we go. Let's make this bigger. That's more what I wanted. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and features, cut extrude, through all, okay. All right, there's our little tick mark. Now let's put a bunch of these around there so we always have a place to store our end of our line. So we will go circular pattern. And for the rotation point, we'll select that cylinder. And now we will select this as our item. And it's putting 4 in there. Let's just go ahead and do, I'm just going to equally space these. I think 8 looks good. Okay. I think we have a finished part here. So let's print it and see how it comes out. Okay, one idea I had when I was uncoiling my string and realizing I had to wind it back up is to put a little bit in here, a little hex in here so I can put it on my drill and just wind it back up. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go and I'm going to go back in time here actually to that and undo that. Yeah. And now I want to put an actual sketch there. We're going to put some meat in here. And we're going to have a hex that is a quarter. So let's go ahead and put that in here as construction geometry. And we will make that 0.25. There we go. So that's going to be the size of our hole. So we're going to make sure it will house that just fine. Let's go ahead and Control A to select all. Control select that. And then hit for construction on all that. Okay, now that's all construction geometry. And we'll make this 0.375. I think that looks pretty good. extrude base. And we'll extrude this in, so let's go 0.5 here. There we go. And that's just gonna show up like that. And now we will take this hex and put it on this surface. I'm gonna go ahead and do that over like so. And make that horizontal. Go from here to here, 0.25. And the hex I'm using is a hair under 2.5, like 15/64 or something like that. It's just one I had in my socket set, so 2.5 will work really well. So I'm going to now extrude cut that. I'm going to extrude that up in there. It's 0.5. That looks pretty good right there. I'm going to make this a little bit more than 0.5. So let's see if we can just drag this here. Maybe 0.6. Yeah. And now I want to give this an angled top up here, which you can't see, but that way it will print well. So let's go up in here. I'm going to turn off all this fancy stuff, and that way I can see up in there really well. Okay, just chamfer all that right there. There we go. Chamfer, and we'll make it 0.125. That's way too much. Let's make it 1/16. That's pretty good. Let's go add a 32nd. There we go. Almost comes to a point up there. It can handle that much overhang. Now let's go ahead and turn back time again. And that's going to blow up this, so we want to get rid of that cut through. There we go. Get rid of the sketch too. Okay, so now that's how I want to print this. I also want to give it a little bit of a lead-in chamfer too. I'll do two things that will keep it from bulging out on the build plate and also give you a little bit of a lead-in. So we'll chamfer, select loop. We want to select that loop, and now we'll make it pretty small, 0.02. All right, looks good. Let's look inside of it, see what we got there. Got more meat than we need up here, so let's go ahead and fix that. So go ahead and drag this back down. Like 0.375 is there. I'm actually going to go 0.55 right there, and we're going to change the depth of this and make it a little deeper. There we go. I like that. Now let's print it. I hope you enjoyed that design. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And there's plenty more tutorials and projects on my channel. I picked a couple for you. They're right here. Just click on those and check those out. And I'll see you in the next design.